Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark and everything in between. There is third sexes out there. Yes, they are. They're an abnormality, and I'm talking to you too as well. Hermaphrodites, okay? Men who have female genitalia, women who have male genitalia. They do exist out there. Hello. But of course, hello, brothers and sisters. I'm like, welcome to my page about common sense. But I try to keep it down and nitty gritty entertainments. If it goes over 10 minutes, it's something very, 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 very important and not important to liberals, libertarians, people who believe in God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like ayahuasca, people like DMT. These videos are not important to the general masses of asses. I am indigo. I do not need the attention. I don't need it. I'm going on my anecdotal experiences. This is how I show my image and who I am and who I are. I don't want most of you watching my videos. I don't care if I'm shadow banned. You know how to share my videos. But I don't really care about most of your opinions because your opinions is what you feel. And my opinions is what I went through. See, there's a difference. There's a big difference. Alright? This video is going to be about where are all the good men? And I want you to watch this excerpt here of this woman who's basically making a video about all the women who's complaining, where are the good men at? Watch it here or be squared. Alright, this is a response video. I'm only going to show a little bit. Other than that, I'll tell you. I'll tell you where they're at, okay? Also, take into account that there are different types of men out there. There are those types of men who is far in between. They're available easily, just like that. And there's the guys who are just medium right there, okay? Majority of men. And then there's some of the men. And then there's those rare ones. I'll talk about all of them. Alright? But watch this video right now. I just want you to understand where she's coming from.
Answer. You ghosted them. Rejected is a lot of men are just checked out. Okay? Another man responded and said, where are all the good men? Simple answer. You ghosted them, rejected them, or expected too much of them. They are sick and tired of it and they are done. That is why the majority of the good men have just pieced out and are focusing on themselves rather than games and drama.
Now, I'm going to pause it there because I'm not a thief to steal people's content or anything. I want you guys to know, and you gals to know, is that who is picking these relationships out? Who are these women talking about where the good men are at? They know where the good men are at. They're deceiving themselves. Okay, I make plenty of videos about telling you women to fall for your type. Fall for your type. And 9 times out of 10, you're average at best. I'm telling you right now, you're average at best. And a lot of guys out there who you choose, you may say, oh, I want a 6'2" type guy. That's not your type, honey. I'm sorry. You got to get that out of your mind. There's a majority of men out there, like 80% of the guys, who are so good, but you are ignoring them because your expectations are so high that you will never meet them because you've been brainwashed. Majority of men are good men. I know this by fact. Majority of women are not good women. I know this by fact too. Anecdotally. I've spoken to hundreds of men and women and some in between as well. And I can tell you right now from my perspective of my anecdotal experiences that you women need to re-educate yourself. I understand that you didn't have a father figure, but listen to what I'm saying here. What you consider a good man is what you think is your soulmate who is taller than you because you want to feel attracted to him, okay? You get this because of other women and how you were raised. And it's not all your fault. I'm not blaming you. But if you refuse to get the information, the knowledge from someone who has the knowledge, I tell you all the time, you can follow me and you can just check my information that down below. I do have a Cash App and a Patreon. You can contact me to test me out before you think I'm the real McCoy or not. Down below on my Facebook first. You can check me out and I can help you with that. I'm not a simp panderer. I know there's some red pills out there. So he's simp pandering. He's trying to help. He's trying to beg for money. I'm not doing that shit. I made it a disclaimer in the very beginning. My videos are not for the majority of the masses of asses. But if you as a woman who don't know how to keep her legs closed, so you smoke, you drink, and you're not even interested in where the good men that you're supposed to be with, I'm not talking about an unattractive male either. I'm not talking about an unattractive, below average male either. You got to talk to the right individual. All right? But let me school you on some game here on where these guys are at. So if you're a reasonable woman and you're like 5'4", look at your weight. Go into the mirror. I know I said this before, time and time again. And give yourself a number. Not higher than 6. Because most of you are not no goddamn 6s. And most of you are just average to me. When you take off the makeup, what do you see? This is what you're supposed to be looking on first. Then fall for your type. I made a video about this. Stop looking at guys. I'm gonna tell you a secret about a lot of guys who are 6 foot. They don't need just you. They know themselves as more beautiful than you. And they don't wear makeup. Men don't wear makeup for a reason. Only beta average looking women wear makeup. You don't need makeup. Okay? Average guys are everywhere. You can easily approach them. Don't say there's no good man when you know you can approach. And if you got money, you even got the upper hand. You got the upper hand because you got money. But instead of just making the first move, instead of having your own money, and also you could bribe or manipulate a man, there's a whole lot of list of things I know women do all of the time. But they don't talk about it on the internet too much. You just walk up to a man and say, you look pretty nice, and I will pay for your services just for you to be a companion to me. Because what do men do in reverse? They're paying for your companionship and your sex and your used vagina. I don't do that because I'm an alpha. Like I said before, there's 80% of men out there who is fall for your type. And you can easily just walk up on them and then say that same word. You could be direct as possible. I got the money. I want to take care of you. You want to be the wife. You are the bread provider. You go up to any guy that you think. Even if he's 6'2", just walk up to him. I got the money. I got the bread. I want to take care of you. I want to get through your head. I want to understand what you're coming from, right? Try that. And you'll see how many good guys will pop up. But I recommend that you not talk to guys who are more beautiful than you are. Men are more beautiful because they don't wear the makeup, babies. They don't wear the makeup. You have to improve on your image because you're insecure about your own natural beauty, which you have not been taught. So, you got 80% of good guys out there that I know personally. And there's guys who are called incels who will never be able to meet a girl. They will never be able to be with a girl. I've traveled to Ethiopia. I traveled to Gambia. I talked to so many hundreds of men internationally. They would never be able to get in a relationship with any female. And you're telling the news. You're on social media saying there's no good guys. What is your expectations like? You know you're wrong. You're going to die alone. Okay? Men have always been dying alone. Suicide rates are high for men, not for women. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something here. Since there's so many good men that I know personally, okay, I can try to easily hook you up. I've been a dating counselor before. I have. Okay? I made a few mistakes, though. But I usually try to do some psychoanalysis on each person's personality before I hook them up. Even with that, you still make mistakes. That's why you have to come to me. So I can hook you up personally, privately, because I'm not a really social person on the internet. And let me tell you something about what type of man you're looking for. If you're in your head thinking about money, it's not going to go well with you because you ain't got no money. No alpha's going to deal with you. When you hear the word alpha on the internet, they don't know what they're talking about. Sigma, they don't know what they're talking about either because they don't exist. But they rarely do exist. And if you do encounter that, they're going to have an application process and you're not going to pass at all. Because I'm one of them. I always give application processes to all the women I talk to. I travel overseas. I don't have time for the mess with women do in the Western countries. That's how hard it is to find real alpha segment type of males. They are not to be bothered. They are not to be fucked with. But where to find them at? They're everywhere. You can find them in the store. You definitely can find them in the church. You can find them. If you want a physically attractive type guy, you got to go to the basketball court. You got to go to the gym. Okay. If you want to really suffocate a man, you find them in the church. Because 9 times out of 10, when I talk to guys who either use drugs or in the church, they're softies. They're the softest motherfuckers out there. Softest simps. From my perspective. Every time I hear a junkie or a drug user or a cigarette smoker, their minds is not mature. They have been abused. They have went through depression. If you as a woman have went through depression, you should find someone like-minded. A cigarette smoker, someone who uses alcohol or something like that, so he can relate to you. If you smoke, you should find a smoker. If you drink, or you're moderate about your drink, you should find a drinker. Something small. And I'm going to tell you something else too. You should study up on what men like. What do men like? The more cerebral men are online. They're not going to be out there doing anything. I've seen hundreds of guys on Twitch. I've seen hundreds of guys on YouTube. They make their own personal videos. They ain't got no time for you to be in their houses. See, I advise guys not to allow you to live with them because of the fact that there's too much of a risk. You're a high liability because you have no proper what? Training that you have to be taught. And if you don't want to be taught, you will definitely die alone. Men don't mind dying alone. They always been dying alone. They always have been. Ever since I was a child. Ever since I was 16, 15 years old. I said, how hard it is for an intellectual male to, or I call them highly knowledgeable and acute alpha males. The more knowledge a man has, that is not appealing to a woman. That is not appealing to a woman. Most women. I said the key element here. I know this by fact. Whenever a man has standards, they'll call him fussy or bussy or bossy or controlling or a narcissist. But I'm trying to tell you something here. To be fair and square. You gotta lower your standards. They're everywhere. Good men are everywhere. You're just gonna have to take the audacity and the pussy juice to walk it up. You have the cojones, like the guys gotta have the cojones to walk to you and get 30,000 rejections. You gotta start getting some rejections. You know what I do? You get on a dating site. Dating sites are excellent places. You gotta put your simple standards. You can't have high standards if you're not trained. No, you're not trained. You have to put on your profile, I am willing to learn from a good man that I'm reasonably attracted to. Reasonably attracted to. You cannot be over this a certain amount of weight. If you're a fat fuck, like I said, you deserve to be with a fat fuck. I told you this. You don't have to take my word for it. You better strip down naked and give yourself an honest number, not higher than a fucking 6. You're not a 3 or a 4 if you're not overweight. That's how the numbers are. In my perspective, if you're a 1, 2, 3, or 4, you are handicapped and overweight. Or you're a hypochondriac as fuck because you got all these mental issues. You got too much shit going on. If you're a 5, that's most women are 5s at best. Okay? 6s is a little up there because you're in your natural element. 7s, you're exotic. Okay? And it's very hard to find 8, 9s, and 10 type females out there who is actually greatly loyal and content and proper etiquette. You can't deal with even those type of women will have a hard time being stable if they didn't have a father figure from the begin with. Look at my face. Look at my mole on my right eye. But anyway, if you need counseling and you need help and assistance, I am special. I do not do what the other guys are doing on the internet. Please, come to me. You can try to find me on my Facebook. That's the best thing you do. Make a message. You want to know how to introduce yourself? You need to be taught how to do that too. Hello, my name is Da, and I find you attractive. That's the first compliment. Learn how to start reciprocating the energy back to men. Because men do too much. I teach men stop doing shit. If a man gets a compliment, it's not just a thank you. You should say something nice about him too. Y'all women need to be taught that shit. Y'all don't know how to compliment men. Every time I see a beta simp talking to a woman, I watch his movements around her. And he's doing too fucking much. Opening doors, giving you flowers, and then you don't return that favor? Are you out of your mind? If any woman cannot reciprocate what I give her, And she gave me one lip wrong. She blinked the wrong way. She talked a certain way. She said something wrong. She's out. Because I'll tell her right then and there, you need to be taught, and I tried to teach you, and you didn't want to learn, and you didn't want to do the shit that I asked you to do. Like my ex-wife, I tell her, don't walk on the floor barefooted. Do you think she listened? I said, it's bad luck. And if you cared that much, you're going to remember. Alright, so now that's all I really got to say. And I hope you guys follow this woman here. Okay, she has some nice information. Okay. Her name is Danica Mary, okay? Women are panicking. I think, truthfully, I think that these are just skits that's made up. They're not real. Okay? I think it's red pill guys posting videos of having friends that's making simple videos that they can't find. I think it's not as hard as what they say it is. I think these are skits set up by red pill guys to make guys and force guys to make the women seem bad, completely bad. Because it's so easy for women to find relationships. I even tested it out on the other side. I make fake profiles and I try to see how many attentions I can get from guys or suckers. Okay? I do that for a living. I do a lot of psychoanalysis on people and I try to test their might. I try to test them out, their emotions, down to the nitty-gritty, to the respect level. Their ways of being learning, that is important to top of the line guys. High IQ guys who do not play games with women. You cannot control them with your sexuality. The higher intellectual a man is, I'm a sapiosexual, by the way, I told you, turned on my intelligence and maturity. You're not gonna last that long, I'm telling you. Gotta have something in common. You gotta know what to do. You can't be sitting there and you're on your phone. Your phone is the most lethalest thing you can have in your hand because you're pretty. And that's going to destroy you. But other than that, that's all I'm really going to say. And y'all have a nice day, okay? I'm just trying to help out the ladies here. How easy it is to find good men. They're everywhere. A lot of men don't have a high body count like women do. That's a fact, too. And there'll be a lot of beta cucks on there saying, no, you don't know what you're talking about. But you're not killing me like Charlie Kirk. You're not killing me. You know? You're not killing me. I have the demons and angels watching me. I don't go out there and expose myself, okay? I'm behind brick walls and stone and steel. Yeah, but everybody can be got. You know, I'm not invincible, but I'll come back full-fledged, okay? I'm like the Avatar. I cannot be killed. I'll just come back, reincarnate over and over again, because I want to come here. I know how to escape. And that's another thing, too. Y'all guys love this world so much. You're sapped here just like a fucking, bug catcher, okay? It's the bug catcher, the blue light special, the indigo light special. I'm not attracted to that light. I'm going the opposite way. But other than that, that's all I really got to say. Because I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Please, ladies, come to the right people. Stop listening to those so-called gurus on the internet who's not trying to help you or give you any advice. You need a male. My services cost $30 a month. So if you can't throw $30 a month, you can't really have a man. $30 a month is not that much. Even you guys. So a lot of guys be hitting me up. Sometimes they join me for like 2 months and they disappear. And then they come back, hey dad, what happened to you? I said, you ain't paid your fees. What am I? $30 is not, you pay $60 for your sneakers every month, right? So I guess the sneakers are more worth than the father figure. And we always have good times together. I do have a Patreon, and I do have a Cash App, and I do have my Facebook. I am not the one. I have 2 daughters already who's going to be paying me when they get older. Family is motherfucking business. And I'm out of here, guys. Enough talk. Y'all women know where to find me at. Y'all guys know where to find me at. Even you intersexes, too. You hermaphrodites, you crossbreeds. Okay, I understand where you're at. Even transsexuals, even you guys, okay? You know how to find me. I used to be popular way back before 2012 on MySpace, okay? MySpace, where everything didn't have to be promoted and everything, and they become biased to YouTube and all that, the algorithm, all that stuff didn't exist. Before Facebook, I was popular. But I'm still here. I'm still living. I am 51, guys. Been on the internet for over 20 years, I think it is. Yeah, over 20 years. Peace.